What's up guys? Today we are going to test one of the most affordable smart rings on the market. It is called Nova Smart Ring R. You can buy it for just $169, which is about half the price of the previous smart rings we have tested before, such as Ultrahuman and RingConn Gen 2. In fact, the Nova Smart Ring R is the simplest and most affordable model in the company's lineup. They also have Nova Crystal, Nova Pay and Nova X. Perhaps we will test them someday. But for now, let's take a look at the Nova Smart Ring R. By the way, I have the RingConn Gen 2 now, and we will compare it to the Nova Smart Ring a little bit in this video. I am curious how they both track health. Let's start with the unboxing of the Nova Smart Ring. As usual, you will need a sizing kit first to find out your ring size. It says here that the company recommends wearing the ring on the index finger. However, if you prefer a different finger, a ring will work as well. Once you have known the size, you can order the ring itself. It comes in even smaller box than the sizing kit. You know, it looks like a proposal ring box. That's very nice. First, there is a greeting card from the company, and then we can see the smart ring itself. We will take a closer look at it a little later. You will find the user manual and quick start guide in the envelope. The next package contains the charging cable. Finally, there is a charging dock at the bottom of the box. You know, the charging dock looks very cool because the ring kind of levitates on it. We will talk about battery and charging a little later in this video. Now let's go back to the ring. First, I see that the Nova Smart Ring R has the shape of even circle, both inside and outside. I pay attention to this because, for example, RingConn is not exactly round. Like other smart rings, the Nova Smart Ring R is made of two materials, titanium on the outside and medical-grade epoxy on the inside. The titanium makes the ring very durable, and the epoxy makes it comfortable to wear. By the way, the Nova Smart Ring R is 5 ATM waterproof, so you can shower, wash your hands, and even swim in the pool without taking it off. However, avoid using it in a sauna and hot bath. On the inside of the ring, we can see various sensors for health tracking and even a magnetic charging pin. The Nova Smart Ring also has a tactile marker on the outside, which helps you wear the ring correctly. This mark should be on the palm side. I think it is a great solution. Why don't other smart rings have this? This small marker allows the ring measure data more accurately, because the sensors are always in the right place. You should also know that the Nova Smart Ring R is available in this color with a matte finish. There is also a Nova Crystal Sapphire, which looks more elegant, but it is less durable than titanium. I like this one better. When it comes to size and weight, the Nova Smart Ring is actually larger than the RingConn, but I'm fine with that. Since the ring is even circle, the thickness of the ring is about 3 mm. Its weight is about 4 grams. Overall, I like the minimalistic design of the Nova Smart Ring R. Although it looks quite massive on my finger, I feel very comfortable with that. Okay, now let's install the mobile app and see the functions of the smart ring. The companion app for the Nova Smart Ring R has the same name, Nova Ring. You can download it on Android and iOS devices, so the connection is very simple. Just click on Connect button and you will see your ring. Now select it and the ring is connected. I saw a notification here that it is better to wear the ring for more than 3 days to get more professional and personalized health advice. So I will be back to you in 3 days, but it will take 1 second for you. By the way, I'm also gonna check the battery life. Right now the battery level of the smart ring is 76%. So I have been using the Nova Smart Ring for over 3 days now. It has already collected some information about me. Let's see what kind. First, we can see activity for the day, such as steps, calories, and physical activity. You can also click on this and see expanded activity information. You know, the smart ring even automatically recognizes physical activity. I only have walking records, but I haven't done any other workouts these days. Maybe it recognizes other activities too. The next metric in the app is recovery. It seems the smart ring analyzes the activity for the day, sleep quality, resting heart rate, and average HRV, and then gives you a recovery score from 0 to 100. In the daily tag menu, you can manually enter your mood, describe your feeling, what you eat, entertainment, etc. I think most people use smart rings for sleep tracking because they don't like sleeping with their watches. So the Nova Smart Ring tells us about total sleep time, sleep stages, sleep quality score, sleep ratio, and a nap. You know, it's pretty basic information, just like any budget smart bracelet or smartwatch, because the ring doesn't track heart rate or SpO2 while you sleep. The Nova Smart Ring can be used to track exercise. I already told you that the ring automatically detects activity, but you can also start it manually. There are many workout modes available in the app, such as walking, running, cycling, hiking, etc. By the way, you can see GPS walking, GPS running, and others, but the smart ring doesn't have a built-in GPS. It uses GPS from your smartphone, so you need to have your phone with you all the time. Then there are measurements in the app. By the way, I told you that I wanted to compare the Nova Smart Ring to RingConn Gen 2 in this video. Let's do this in measurements. I want to recall you that the Nova Smart Ring is half the price of the RingConn Gen 2. I will also use the smartwatch to know which of the rings are more accurate. So first we are gonna measure heart rate. As you can see, both rings and smartwatch have almost the same BPM. We can also measure blood oxygen levels. You know, I am surprised that the Nova Smart Ring R is even closer to a smartwatch than the RingConn. The Nova and RingConn smart rings have stress monitors, but you can only measure it manually on the Nova Ring. Manual HRV measurement is also only available on the Nova Ring. So I conclude that the Nova Smart Ring R measures heart rate, SpO2, and HRV as good as it was as expensive ring and smartwatch. That's very good. Going back to the app of the Nova Smart Ring, here we have the recovery and sleep tabs, but we have seen that before. There is also meditation with many courses for mindfulness, sleep, relax, focus, and emotions management. By the way, it is also free here. You don't need a subscription like some other smart rings. Finally, there are some settings available in the app, such as goal, profile, gesture control for camera, and syncing with Apple Health and Strava. We can also see the battery level of the smart ring here. Do you remember the battery level was 76% 3 days ago? Now it is day 4 of using the ring and the battery level is 9%. I think it is time for me to put it on a charging dock. The company promises from 4 to 7 days of battery life for its product. If my ring was 100% charged, I think it would last 5-6 days. The Nova Smart Ring has only a charging dock and not a charging case, but it looks awesome. The ring is magnetically attached to the dock, and it looks like it is levitating. I like this. By the way, I want to show you my finger after 3 days of constantly wearing the ring. It looks like I need a larger ring size, although I didn't really feel any discomfort. I can also show you the external condition of the smart ring after 3 days of use. I don't see any scratches or damage on it. The titanium is really durable. So my verdict on the Nova Smart Ring R, although it is a bit larger than other smart rings I have tested, it is really comfortable and durable. If we talk about functions, there are many such as activity, recovery, sleep, exercise, meditation, etc. Even the measurements are really accurate. But honestly, the app looks pretty simple compared to the apps of other smart rings. However, the main thing is that everything is clear here. The battery life up to 7 days is not impressive, but it is fine for a budget smart ring. So I cannot say that the Nova Smart Ring is better than the RingConn or Ultrahuman, which I have tested before, because they have some better features. But those rings cost twice as much as the Nova Smart Ring. If you want to try out some smart ring, you can start with the Nova. It doesn't cost a fortune and has many useful functions. Thank you for watching. See you soon!